You have something special. You have something special. You have greatness in you. I want you to let me see some hearts and some thumbs that you see me because I got a message for you. I want to share something with you because I'm back in Miami and I talked to a friend of mine, Jackie Gaynor. And Jackie, she and I, we were talking about when I used to have meetings at the Caleb Auditorium in Liberty City, where I was born and raised, an abandoned building on a floor. And what she said was interesting, which I never thought about it. And during that time, I was under political attack. And I remember going before the Miami City Council, Mayor Maurice Ferre was the mayor then. And they had offered to renew a youth program that I had for $100,000. Now, this is quite a while ago. I was the first person to go before the Miami City Commission and say thank you, but no thank you. I said the things that I was teaching and training the kids to do, I'm going to give myself 3 years to earn my first million. And no, I said 5 years. And I will come back and sponsor the program myself and not use any dollars from politicians. And I did it in 3 years. And I kept going. I kept going. I had such a good time. And I never did come back to do that. There's a lady that I'm working with right now, and she works at hospice, and she made me think about dying a life of no regrets. There's a lot going on with young people all across this country. And I get to work with young people in Miami. I'm going to find somebody to work with me. I hope they don't say, you too old now. Because I'm 77. I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm 77, I feel like I served at the Lord's Supper, but I got a lot of good tips. But part of what I feel that the calling on my life, there's something T.D. Jakes said. He said, there's no success without successors. There's no success without successors. And, you know, we've all heard a scripture that says a prophet is not without honor except in their own hometown. Well, that was not true in my case. People came out by the droves to see Les Brown from Overtown in Liberty City at the Caleb Auditorium. And I learned a lot of things. I've spoken for corporations and organizations around the world. I've spoken to audiences as large as 80,000. I'm not making this up. If you go online and put in Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome, you'll see me speaking to over 80,000 people. Who does that? Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Dorothy Bell Rucker's pride and joy. And so my goal is to train a few people. I'm looking for the few that's hungry, the few that would love to learn how to tell their story. Your story has value. Your story, the things that you experience, your story, the knowledge that you have acquired, your story, the experiences that you've gone through. As a friend of mine, Dr. Cheryl Woods would say, that story you're sitting on, somebody is waiting on. Somebody's waiting on that. And I know, because I've done it, I know there are a lot of people out here in this space, but when it comes to telling a story and how to transform an audience individually and collectively, how to speak to small groups or large groups, that's in my space. That's, come on now, don't get me upset and excited up in here. I'm looking for a small group of people. I don't want everybody, but everybody's not serious. The road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it. If you are hungry to learn how to tell your story, if you are hungry to learn how you can monetize your story, if you're hungry to live a life that matters and leave a legacy, make an impact. Let me see some fire on the screen right now. Let me see some fire, because at 77, I'm still hungry. Come on. And people say, how could you be hungry and motivated? You don't even look like you 77. Well, because I'm 77, don't mean that I have to look like I got one foot on the banana peeling and the other one in the cemetery. No, I get up early to cover this grave. I can't say, you look distinguished with your gray hair. I'm not trying to look distinguished. I'm trying to look young. Just mind your own business. So, I mean, when you think about it, there are a lot of people who have given up, who have thrown in the towel on themselves, sitting around watching television, talking about who's the GOAT, LeBron or is it Kobe? They couldn't even afford tickets to a basketball game. Talking about who's the GOAT, and they're an amateur in their own lives. And let me share something with you. What's needed now are speakers to speak peace and love and harmony. What's needed now, our children need to see us standing up and speaking and fighting for their future. That's what's needed now. And my goal is to train you how to do this. They're going to know I'm here until I leave here. And I'm looking for people, not just for those who want to leave a legacy. A legacy is how you are remembered. I want to look for people and train people who want to build a dynasty. A dynasty. You'll never be forgotten. Come on. No, he didn't go there, honey. Yes, he did. So I want you to go to lesbrown.com right now. Those of you that do it, I'm just looking for a few. I'm looking just for a few. The road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it. And let me just share with you. See, a lot of people talking about stuff. Don't allow somebody to teach you how to do something that they have not done, just because they got some good marketing letters or got a good game. Let me show you where speaking can take you. And what's important is not just what a mentor can teach you, but where I can take you. I want you to share with you where I'm going to take you. Watch this. We make decisions, and our decisions make us. You have something special. You've got greatness in you. When I look at this picture with my brother and I, born in an abandoned building on a floor in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City, and I was labeled educable mentally retarded. They called me DT, the dumb twin. No one could have told me, by investing in myself and learning how to communicate, how to present myself, how to speak to one-on-one or small groups or large audiences, that it would dramatically change my life. I'm 77 now, and I'm looking for people who are serious about becoming successful, about becoming a category king, on how to tell their story about themselves or about their business, or how to monetize their dreams and make a difference on the planet. If that's you, I want you to reach out to me. I'm going to teach you how to tell your story, how to use quotes, how to use humor, how to make people laugh and feel good and cry in their tears. Oh, let me tell you something up in here. People say we have the best training program on the planet and train more successful people than anybody on the planet. And you can be the next one. This is your time. This is your moment to turn adversity to your advantage. But you gotta be hungry. You have something special. You got greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye for now. Now, those of you that go now, I want you to go to lesbrown.com. I'm going to have a special session with you, those that sign up today. I'm going to have some that I'm going to do live. You can ask me questions, all right? And I'm just excited. I'm putting together a team of speakers that I will train and that will be a part of a test group. And I'm looking for speakers to share the stage with me virtually and in person. And the thing is that I believe right now we should not just surrender the voices to people who don't have consciousness, who don't have standards in how they express themselves, whose mouths are so filthy that we don't want our children to hear them. People who have a sense of decency, people who understand that words are powerful, and our children are listening. They're listening to what we say and how we say it. And I'm looking for people who want to make an impact or who want to shift from where they are to do something that's close to their heart, where they can earn a living and make a difference with their story or their knowledge. That's what I'm looking for. If that's you, I want you to go to lesbrown.com. And right now, because I'm at my sister's here in Miami, I want you to ask me some questions that I got assistance with me, a pastor who's a dynamic man himself and powerful speaker, Reverend Bishop Tola from Nigeria, but here. Tola, any questions? People have questions for me? Because I got this time on my hand and I'm bored. I want to talk to somebody. I left my friend Tyrone in Atlanta, and he hadn't called me back yet, but he's coming down on a Greyhound bus. He didn't like to fly. He said, no, I prefer Greyhound or Trailway. But any question you'd like to ask me about speaking?
Absolutely. Yeah. And we've got people signing up. I see the numbers coming in right now. People are signing up. We've got a question from Rhonda. She says, how can I make this work for me while supporting myself on a full-time job?
I am so glad that you asked that question. Rhonda asked, how can I make this work for me while I'm supporting myself on a full-time job? Rhonda, what I'm going to do, and I want everyone to understand this, don't just jump up and quit your job. I'm going to share with you how you can make money while you're still earning your job, earning money on your job, and how you can, using what I teach you, that you're going to earn more money than you're earning on your job. And I'm going to teach you how to create non-performance income. What do you mean by that? How you can monetize your voice and the things that I teach you with the online courses that we will assist you in creating, that you can earn more money than you can ever begin to imagine. Come on now. In 1 hour than what you get paid on your job working 40 hours a week. I ain't making this up. I'm telling you what I know. I do this. And people say, when are you going to retire? You retire from doing something that's work. I love this. You don't retire from doing something that you enjoy. People say, oh, you look so young for 77. Yes, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm answering the call on my life. A calling is different than a job. A job is what you get paid for. A calling is what you're made for. And it keeps you young, baby. You just showing off. Yes, I is. If you can feel a brother up in here, if I make you laugh and feel good, let me see some flames. I want somebody who just tired of being depressed and tired of crying and looking ugly. And just say, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. Somebody who wants a breakthrough. I'm your man. If you're looking for a breakthrough, I'm the one. That's right. I'm the one. If you're looking for a breakthrough, I want you to go to lesbrown.com, sign up for the program. And I decided, because I talked to a friend, and I'm not going to tell you her name is Terry Stingley. But she told me about a young man who put out a tweet, and somebody read between the lines that indicated that he might take his life. And this person called the police and spoke with such urgency and conviction, got them to go out to this person's house, and sure enough, he had passed out from taking an overdose of pills. He just said he was tired. A lot of people just tired. That's why the suicide rate has spiked. And I asked, Lord, what am I supposed to do now? And you know what kept coming to me? Feed my sheep. That's what you're supposed to do. I gave you a voice. I gave you a story. I've brought you through some stuff. You're here because of my grace and mercy. Feed my sheep. And my goal is to multiply the feeders, to multiply the number of voices, of stories, of individuals that have a conviction to want to feed the sheep, to feed people messages of hope. When there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. I ain't playing with you. I ain't playing with you. These are challenging times. These are the best of times and the worst of times. And I'm going to share with you how you can make it the best of the times, not just for yourself, but for your family and for those that you speak to. If you can identify with that, let me see some flames. Let me see some thumbs up. Let me know that you're on the same page that I'm on. I ain't playing with you. No, these are great, incredible times. I'm working with Stormy Wellington here, she and Mello in Miami. I'm going to be talking with her group tonight at 7 o'clock. I got something for them. I'll be eating hot pepper on a fork until then. That's Stormy. She's a bad somebody up in here. If you don't know about Stormy, you better ask somebody. Stormy don't play. No, she does not. And so my goal is to work with a few. The road to life is straight and narrow, and few there be that find it. To work with the few. Everybody don't want to make it. I got family members who are fine just as they are. Leave people alone. Leave them just as they are. I like what Ian Levon said, and I said often, give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. I didn't know that for a long time, and I was depleting myself. Have you ever done that? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking. Put some thumbs up. Let me see those thumbs. If you know what I'm talking about, where you made people a priority who made you an option. Family members, our children, our friends. At some point in time, you just have to wake up. You talk about stay woke. You got that right. Wake up and stay woke. He's on fire. You got that right. I'm on fire up in here. Why? Because I'm still here. I think every day is a good day. If you don't believe it, try missing one. I tickle myself sometimes. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I got issues. Let me take a little sip here. Backhoe wine when I was coming up. BACCO, backhoe. Y'all don't remember backhoe wine. Y'all too young.
He is on fire.
What they have any questions for me?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me hear some of these questions. I got answers.
You He's got on questions? Fire, ladies and gentlemen.
I got
He's
answers.
On fire.
Okay.
We got a question coming from LinkedIn. Shout out to our Les Brown LinkedIn community. This next question comes from Erwin. He says, when did you know what your mission was?
You know, Irvin, I knew what my mission was when I was talking to a friend and he said, thank you. Thank you so much. And it was a heartfelt thank you. And I said, what's going on? And he said, man, I was about to do something stupid. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. And you made me laugh. He said, you are so crazy, man. You made me, I was furious. And come to find out, he found out that his wife was cheating on him. And he said that he was not going to experience that pain by himself. He's going to kill her. He's going to kill her lover. And he was going to kill himself. And he heard my voice. And he said, thank you. Thank you so much. And we both cried. I knew that God used me in a special way. I believe that we all have a calling. Everybody can't hear me. There are some of you that hear me in your ears, but there's some of you who can hear me in your heart. There's some of you who just know I'm supposed to do this. People have complimented you on you. You've always helped people, and you're always looking and for opportunities to give people advice and to share with them the experiences you've gone through and say, hey, you got this. You're stronger than this. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. See, God ain't dead. God is in the midst of all this stuff. All this stuff. And there's something in you. All things work together for good, for those who love God, for those who are called according to his purpose. There's something in you. Come on now. There's a calling in you. Can you tell I feel real good? Now you wonder, what he got in there? Is that what's in here? I'm going to tell you what. Just keep this under your hat. I have a friend. I'm not going to tell you her name is Madeline Haddock. She fixed some special cookies for me. Some special cookies with THC. She said, you take this, you gonna get a good night's sleep. Do you hear me? She did not lie. I don't know. I had to break them up because the first time I ate a whole one all by myself, then I saw myself on a merry-go-round and all these different colors and everything. I said, what's going on up in here? Up in here. I wasn't at Disneyland. I was in my room. So some say, don't do the whole thing. Don't do the whole thing. You're not used to this kind of stuff here. Just do half of it. I don't know what she put in there, but it's so good. Let me tell So what I do, I space it out. I start at 9 o'clock. I eat half at 9 o'clock. And then around 10 o'clock, my Alexa alerts me. And then I do the other half. And then I go to bed and I wake up the next morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and crazy. Because when you get a good night's sleep, there's nothing like a good night's sleep. Do you hear me? I could hurt somebody if I don't get a good night's sleep. There's nothing like a good night's sleep. I'm telling you. I ain't making this up. I'm telling you. I said, you know what? We need to package this baby. You know, Les Brown's Get a Good Night's Sleep formula. Cookies that help you sleep through the night and wake up giving motivational messages. Yes, I can. And yes, I will. Okay, so look here. I want you right now. I want how many people? 7 is my lucky number. I want 21 people to go to lesbrown.com. 21 people. Go to lesbrown.com. Sign up for my new program. 21 people. And I'm going to work with you. They say every 2 weeks. No, every week. You can ask me questions. And I'm going to share with you how to tell your story. You're going to have access. You know, access is power. Come on, somebody. Access is power. You're going to talk to me. And there's some things that's in you. The reason that you're listening to me now is because what I'm saying, you don't just hear it in your ear. It's in you. It's in your heart. I'm telling you what I know. I'm going to share something to you. Some of you have seen this. Some of you have not. Please, Tola, play it, please.
You know, I just discovered my birth parents. Here I am, 77. I just saw for the first time a picture of my mother and my father. Wow. I've never seen that before. And so that's a major disruption. Two brothers that I didn't know I had. That was a major disruption. So I'm still processing that. You were talking about the last few weeks.
Here I am, my 77th year on the planet. And now I find out. God said, I got something for you.
My second cousin showed me a video of my mother speaking, which I've probably watched it about 56 times. It was disarming. I just said, you know, Mamie Brown, who adopted me, you know, my birth mother, she gave me life, but Mamie Brown, who adopted me, she taught me how to live life.
I'd always wanted to see a picture of my mother or father, and always wanted to meet someone who knew them. Now I have pictures and met people who knew them and sharing stories. But I did not realize how much and how important that was to me. I did not allow myself to recognize that hunger part of my life because I didn't think it would ever happen.
I went down to Gainesville, Georgia, and as many of you know, I connected with my birth family. And yesterday, this time, I was seated on the porch on a bench that my birth mother, Dorothy Rucker, built this house. They said she had a saw and a hammer. A saw and a hammer, and she built this house. And I was there to visit the Beulah Rucker Museum. My grandmother, who was a motivational speaker, and Dorothy Bell Rucker, who was a motivational speaker.
Collard green, I declare them good old collard green, good and greasy. Collard collard green. I declare them good old collard green. First you put them in a pot, then you sting them good and hot. Them good old collard greens.
We're at the Beulah Park Museum. It's 40 acres. When my mother graduated from Savannah State College, she purchased 200 acres of land at 50 cents an acre. Okay? And she worked hard. I'm excited about this, and I've been reflecting and doing a lot of thinking. It's a new narrative for my life. I now have to begin to ask the question, what am I to do with this? I and my brother, we were a secret.
Wow.
This thing called life.
Did you care to know why they put you up for adoption, or?
Oh, I knew why she did. She was married.
Okay.
And her husband was away in World War II.
Gotcha.
So she had to get rid of us before he came back.
Boy, them country secrets be different, don't they? them down south dirt road secrets, boy. Lord have
No,
mercy.
they're everywhere. And so it was disarming to see her, to see our mannerisms. There's certain that are taught and some things are caught. And you do things, and you don't. There's some things I call that can't help it. That you can't help it. It's just
It's
who
in you.
you are. It's in you, and you've got to do it. You are driven. You were chosen to do it. Sometimes you don't know you're missing something until you find it. She's a pioneer, education pioneer, hard worker. This says, I've had to sacrifice time both day and night to light a torch of instruction, which I hope will cause the public to see the purpose of this much needed institution. The Rugged Pathway, Beulah Rucker, 1953. I was 8 years old. My birth mother, Dorothy Bell Rucker, has created a new narrative for me. When I had my talk show, my radio show, I would say, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. Now I have to say, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Dorothy Bell Rucker's pride and joy. I've got two mothers and I'm not ashamed. I've got two mothers and I love them just the same. And so I now have an expanded narrative about who I am and what caused me to become the kind of person I am, because Dorothy Bell Rucker was a motivational speaker, teacher, educator, and Beulah Rucker, who had a relationship with Mary McLeod Bethune, she was an educator, she was a motivational speaker. They have a museum in her name, the Beulah Rucker Museum in Gainesville, Georgia. And so that's the lineage that I came out of, that I had no clue, that I was not aware of. At this stage of my life, it has fired up my hunger to make a greater impact. I want to be like my grandmother and my mother, as well as Mamie Brown. to make my life count through people, as my mother, Mamie Brown, did, my adopted mother, and my birth mother. I want to have an impact on people's lives, a greater impact. And I know even at 77, I still got the juice.
Wow. When I see that, and I've seen it a lot, I get emotional. I want to ask you, if you've ever heard my voice and it made a difference in your life, I want to see some thumbs. I know many of you have not heard me speak, but some of you have. Some of you have. And it made a difference for you. If you've ever heard my voice, someone introduced you to me, you saw something on YouTube, you saw me speak in the Georgia Dome before 80,000 people, you saw me give a speech called "It's Possible" or "You Deserve" or "Getting Unstuck," you saw me speak at T.D. Jakes' Manpower. Some of you, I know it's got to be more of the people who've heard me than just the little numbers that covered up here now. Come on, I ain't making this up. Some of you that you heard me speak, and it made a difference. It disrupted your thinking. It inspired you. It touched you. It motivated you to keep on pushing, not to give up. Some of you saw me speaking and said, you know what? I think I'd like to do that. I like helping people. I want to do that. Some of you. Because when I came out the box, there was nobody that looked like me when I came out, because I was the only fly in the glass of milk. I remember when I sent off to the company that had this infomercial with Tony Robbins, and they said, "Mr. Brown, you got an inspiring story, but you black." I said, "Thank you very much for telling me. I never would have known that if you hadn't told me." So I knew then that Tony had the complexion of connection. I had the complexion of rejection. But I didn't let that stop me. I said, "I'll see you from the top." Come on, somebody. Yeah. They didn't know what was in me. They didn't know. No, I don't have no PhD and MBA. Yes, they labeled me educable, mentally retarded, but they didn't know about that Dorothy Bell and Beulah Rucker gene. They didn't know about that. They didn't know about that Mamie Brown influence and impact of being unstoppable, of making a way out of no way. They didn't know what God had chosen for me. He said, "I'll be your infomercial." Come on. Woo! It ain't gonna cost you millions of dollars. All you need to do is do my work. See, life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. And if you want to make your life a gift even more than what you've done thus far, I want you to go to lesbrown.com. Those of you that do it today, that sign up today, I got something for you. I'm going to send you some material that you can't get online, and I'm going to give you some personal time with me, because what came to my mind, he said, "Feed my sheep." People need to be fed now. Hope, love, initiative, ambition, drive, hunger. Yeah. Some of you can hear me in your heart. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And I'm looking to build a community, global community of people who want to make a difference, people who want to leave a legacy, people who want to build a dynasty, people who want to live a life of impact. Yes, I'm back in Miami. Between Miami and Gainesville, Georgia, where my parents are from. Let the record show. In Liberty City, I'm going to Overtown this afternoon when it gets a little cooler. Take some pictures. But you know, I'm sure there's some people saying, I can't believe Leslie left here many years ago. I don't even know how many years it's been. And look what he has done with his life. What he was teaching our children. Look what he's done with his life, the youth program that they stopped him from doing, teaching our kids how to become successful. And he turned down $100,000, said, no, I don't need your money. I'm going to go and using what I was teaching our kids, I will demonstrate with my life. I'm going to earn $1 million in 5 years. Now, he did it in 3. Come on now. And I still got the fire in my belly. Some of those kids got my name on them. Yeah. No, I'm not going to give them up to all of this insanity that's out here now. No, some of these pants going to be pulled up. I'm a virus killer, HIV, hood-infected virus, AIDS, addiction to incarceration, and death syndrome. I'm killing those viruses. And I'm looking for some people who want to tell their story, who want to learn, who want to join me in making an impact with our kids. They're 40% of our population, but they're 100% of our future. I'm not waiting for someone else to come in and rescue our kids. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do what Miles Monroe said. Live full and die empty. If you agree with me, let me see some flames. Let me see some flames. The fire gets me excited. Somebody call the fire department. If you agree with what I'm saying, and if you want to join me, go to lesbrown.com. So you want to speak? I'll teach you how to do that. I teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you what I've done. Never let somebody teach you how to do something that they have never done before. I've done this. I know this place. Yeah. I know what I'm talking about. I've done it and still doing it and still hungry, still excited, still allowing God to use me as an instrument. Oh, yeah, don't mess with me. Don't come for me. You might run over here, but you'll limp back. Don't come for me. I'm not the one. Tyrone is watching me on the internet. He's still in Gainesville. They wouldn't let the squirrel on the plane. He didn't want to fly anyhow. So he told me he's going to catch a Greyhound bus down. I said, okay. All right. Tyrone is my squirrel friend. He taught me squirrely, and I taught him English. My kids don't like my relationship with Tyrone, my squirrel friend. This is how you say you have greatness in you in squirrely. I protect you. I wish you do too. You have greatness in you. It's not true because I said it, but I said it because it's true. That's what I just said in squirrely. I'm bilingual now. Don't hate, celebrate. I can't say, if we hear you talk about that Tyrone anymore, we're going to put you in the old folks' home. Go to lesbrown.com right now. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to teach you. See, life is for laughing, for loving, and for living. I'm going to teach you how to tell your story, share your knowledge, how to become more impactful, influential. and develop the number one soft skill Warren Buffett has said that one can have in this global economy, this global pandemic, that entrepreneurs, small businesses, large businesses, people in multi-level marketing, finance, real estate, everybody need the ability to have presentation power. And homie, so you want to speak? Homie can hook you up. Go to lesbrown.com. And then we'll have live weekly sessions where you can ask me questions. Access, proximity is power. Can you tell I'm a happy camper? Yes, I is. You have something special. You have greatness in you. Do I have any questions? Do people have any questions? Do you have any questions for me?
Lots and lots of questions.
Let me hear some of the questions. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The next question we have is, how do I use my story to create a stronger brand?
You use your story strategically to begin to call attention to yourself. And you look at who you want to speak to, who you see as your audience, and you do what I call a needs assessment. See, what gave me a breakthrough, the majority of speakers out there, even to this day, they're going around giving information from Think and Grow Rich. If information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. When Napoleon Hill wrote that book, I couldn't think and sit at the front of the bus. No, I had to get my behind past that yellow line. I couldn't drink at a public water fountain or go to any restroom. There were barriers put in place in the system, inferior education, and various systemic objects that were designed to hold people that looked like me back. It was beyond just thinking that growing rich. No, you had to be hungry to find a way to win, not to stop. See, the 1%, listen to me. They have things that they have put in place to limit the access to becoming a 1%er. I'm not making this up. The number has not changed. And they keep the masses at each other's throats with politics and religion. I'm not making this up. I used to be a state legislator in Columbus, Ohio. I know what I'm talking about. I'm 77. I've seen a thing or two. Oklahoma, Black Wall Street didn't just happen in Oklahoma. It happened in Overtown. Then they brought the expressway through and destroyed all the businesses that we had and the theaters that we had. Oh, and all across this country, they call it gentrification now. Hey, let me tell you something. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Unless people like you who decide, I'm going to take a stand for doing something good, for making a difference, for my children and my children's children. A good man leaves a legacy for his children and for his children's children. When I was a disc jockey in Columbus, Ohio, and WVKO, I had a saying, stand up for what you believe in, because you can fall for anything. You have something special. You have greatness in you. I want you right now. So you want to speak? Sign up for my new program that I'm very excited about. And then we have weekly sessions that you get a chance to ask me questions, and I'll use some of you as examples and show what I can do with your speech and how you can use your story to increase your brand, to have a greater, broader reach, and to make a greater impact and bring out the best in yourself and the best in others. That's part of what we're going to do in the class. Can't have a class right now. Invest in yourself. The more you pay, the more you pay attention. You don't be going to those concerts and say, look at y'all, Y'all got any freebies up in here? No. No. Invest in yourself. It's the greatest investment you can make. Bet on you. That's why I went before the Miami City Commission and said, no, I don't need your $100,000. I'm betting on me. I am the money. And that's how I was training our kids. And I'm going to train some other kids here in Miami too. There's some of them got my name on them, and I'm looking for them. And they're looking for me. What you're seeking is also seeking you. I got to get ready for Stormy Wellington. She's a bad somebody up in here, up in here. I'm speaking to her group tonight at 7 o'clock. In the meantime, I'll be eating hot pepper on a fork. I'm hungry to talk to them tonight. In the meantime and in between time, you have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bye for now.